The Chicago Bears have filled a huge need. Hello, everyone. I'm Andy here with Chicago Bears React, bringing you all the Chicago Bears news you're seeking during the season and now here in the off season. Before we get started today, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss any of the content coming out over the coming weeks. Now, for today's story, we're gonna dive into really the first official story of free agency. There's a couple stories that have come out, a couple players being cut. Obviously, the big news of Jaylon Johnson being franchise tagged and then ultimately extended to a long-term contract. But there's still a lot to be done, and we're getting to that beginning stages of kind of the legal tampering where deals aren't actually being legally finalized yet, but they are being agreed to in principle kind of through back channels. And today the Bears started that by signing Kevin Byard to a 2-year, $15 million deal. So Kevin is obviously he's a safety, as mentioned here by Ian Rappaport. He's a former All-Pro. As recent as 2022, he was in NFL.com's top 100 players. This is somebody who has a pretty significant pedigree, largely with the Tennessee Titans, but most recently with the Philadelphia Eagles, who ultimately cut him after this past season. So interesting. 2 years, $15 million. So the full details I don't think have come out yet, but you're looking at about $7.5 million. And so the question I think a lot of people are going to want to ask is, all right, so we cut Eddie Jackson and we seemingly are replacing him with Kevin Byard. Is it worth it? So let's take a look and see what the stats are saying. So if we take a look at Pro Football Focus, this is somebody who ranked okay. These aren't world-beating, numbers here. Obviously, overall grade of 74, as you can see here. He ranked all right amongst safeties, 3rd in receptions allowed, 5th in targets, 6th in solo tackles. Not a great interception year, but some of that can be chalked up to even just some interception luck. Not everything is up to your DBs, but for somebody who is playing for the Eagles, which has a pretty stout front defensive line, you would kind of want to see a little bit greater production out of your safety. So again, this is a former All-Pro who is definitely more of kind of a league average type player. So if we kind of go back to Pro Football Focus and take a look at their free agent rankings, interestingly enough, Kevin Byard is ranked 1 spot above Eddie Jackson. Obviously, from a numbers standpoint, if we just come over here and kind of take a look at how they were graded, you can see here, Kevin Byard, 2021, highest graded safety. And then 2023, he was, 23rd here. And so, but if we come down, Eddie Jackson has not had a great few years. And so this does feel like a player upgrade, even if marginally. He is a year older than Eddie Jackson. This is a 30-year-old. That doesn't concern me as much with the safety as it would with a corner. Corners tend to fall off a cliff at 30. Safeties have a little bit of a longer shelf life. The position's just a little bit different. It's less speed and athleticism based and much more mental instincts, size, that kind of thing. And so so then the real question is, is this a good enough upgrade, or is this really just a money move? And I think it's a little bit of both. I think Kevin is an upgrade over Eddie at this point. I think Eddie is also a little more of a liability in terms of injury. He's been pretty unreliable on the back end. But the big important piece here is Eddie Jackson. If we take a look here, releasing him saved $12.56 million. So even paying $7.5 million to Kevin Byard, you're saving $5 million annually. So there are some real cost savings that are still coming with this. So it's like you get to replace Eddie with maybe a minor upgrade, but then you get $5 million. What can you do with $5 million? Well, that could potentially be your center. That could be, there's been reports that the Bears are looking at Saquon Barkley. Well, someone like Tony Pollard might go for $6 million. Someone like Barkley might go for $10 million. Well, that $5 million you saved could be the difference between having kind of a decent running back to having an electrifying running back who can take a lot of pressure off of your rookie quarterback. So, $5 million is nothing to sneer at. I think that's probably worthwhile here. And so at the end of the day, I think this is a smart move for the Bears, even if it's not a sexy one. So we'll see what'll happen next. There's a lot of potential free agent activity we could see from the Bears. They got to spend some money. I don't think they're going to spend as much as Bears fans are hoping, but you got to probably get a center. You're going to be looking at a running back. Most likely you're going to be looking at what kind of defensive linemen are going to be available. Probably even take a hard look at bringing in like a Tyler Boyd kind of receiver to be that kind of slot receiver, that number 3 to complement whoever, obviously DJ Moore, and then whoever the Bears bring in through the draft, because I assume the Bears are still going to draft a wide receiver. So, the big thing, though, that I want to impress upon Bears fans here is just because they signed Kevin Byard does not mean they wouldn't still draft a safety. And one thing that could be going on here is the Bears are saying, all right, let's bring in a 30-year-old, somebody who can be a veteran, somebody who can really be just a solid player in the back end. But then let's also draft a rookie, somebody who doesn't necessarily have to start right away, but can give us a little bit of depth, give us an insurance plan for Brisker, who, let's be honest, I don't trust to stay healthy. I don't know if anybody trusts to stay healthy. And then this is also, a little bit of a succession plan too, because, Kevin's not going to be playing beyond the 2 years, even if he makes it to year 2. So ultimately, I don't think this precludes the Bears from drafting a safety in the 3rd or 4th round, but it does give you options in the draft. Now you don't have to go into the draft feeling like you have to get a safety. You've plugged that hole. You have a full secondary now. So that's exciting. I think the Bears now, you have your secondary set. You have your linebacker room set. You're really just trying to figure out how many linemen do you need. Is it just an edge? Is it an edge and a 3 technique? What Poles is thinking is tough to know. I'm going to tell Bears fans right now, I don't think we should be expecting Christian Wilkins to be the new 3 technique for the Bears, but you never know what will happen. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you think this is a good signing, if you're excited about this, if you are disappointed, if you want Eddie back, let me know what you think. Would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, Bears fans, bear down.